What do you do when you know you have to get something done and you're just not motivated? Well, I'm kind of like that today. I've had several things I thought, I must work on this, I must work on that. But, I'm a little tired. I've got different things on my mind, and I had to stop and go, okay, maybe I don't need to get it all done today. And maybe I could find a solution just for my lack of motivation. And my solution is just do something different. So today, what I'm doing with my glue books is something totally different. I just went kind of looking through my things and found some interesting stuff. And I thought, whoa, this looks like fun. So stay with me and you'll find out what that is. I've been cleaning out drawers lately and shelves and just doing kind of a spring cleaning on some of my creative spaces because it's just become so unbearable. And I've come across some old calendars that I've kept for the pictures. This one was even still in its wrapper, but I thought, I'd like to do something different. Also, that this is part of the clean out. I used to subscribe to a magazine called Coastal Living because I love the style and everything. And I don't need to have all those 20 years of magazines in my house, I realized, because I'm shifting around the space in my office studio to make more room for painting. And I came up with, I got to get rid of those. So what I've been doing is sorting through them and just pulling out pages that I find interesting or pretty or might be nice in a glue book situation. But a lot of them are big, so it's like magazine size. So I thought, well, wait a minute. Why don't I use this calendar as a glue book? And obviously it's got, a year's worth of pages, so it's not going to be huge. And it has beautiful pictures, but that doesn't mean I'm going to use them all. So this, for example, with the bee on it, I can quite easily cover that up. I mean, when it's about sunflowers, there's a lot of repetition, and I don't really need all that. It's nice. Oh, wow, look at that. They're beautiful, but what I'm going to do is take this cover off and flip it over, because this is the cover, and it's going to be a book like this, not like this. So I want to take this off, and I want to make sure that I do a good job of it. So I don't know if it's going to tear or not. I'm going to give it a try. Yeah, I don't trust it. I'm going to get my knife. I don't really want to make a mess of it, and it's easy not to. So I'm just going to cut right along this line and flip it over and use some washi tape to stick it in back on as a cover. And that'll be my cover. So it's going to go like this, or I think I like it like this, and it is pretty square. It kind of makes more sense to have it like this. So I've pulled out some of my washi tape sets, which are Happy Planner combinations. I knew that was going to come apart like that. Those double stick ones they always want to unravel. And this is one of the wide ones that I have, so I thought I would use this and just stick it on by first putting it on one side and then just folding it over. And I would say no, it's not optimum for color. However, I'm not that concerned because I can cover it up with the color I like. Now, I'll probably cover this all up anyway, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like there. And on this one, I have another green washi tape. There, that's a lot more solid. And so what I'm going to do today is just pull out some things from here and you know, cut them out if I need to. Sorry about the wind blowing. Some of these pictures I had like pictures on both sides, so I have to check and see if there's something worth saving on the other side. But part of the reason I saved these to use for glue books is because it is Coastal Living, and I always loved the magazine. I used to have a subscription, and then suddenly they just stopped sending it. And, you know, it took me a couple of months to realize it. And I tried to get in touch with them, and the only thing that they had to offer me was online, like a digital one. And I thought, well, that's not really, it's not really what I want, because I don't really like reading things online that much. Let's just make sure this is kind of straight. Mainly because I read in bed at night, and I don't really want to have to deal with the light or anything that's going to excite my brain enough to keep me awake. I'm going to take the top off anyway, so we'll just tear it off here. So there's some nice ones that can go in my scraps, so can that. Here's something gorgeous. I love these. Watercolor sketch of the house that they're showcasing, and you know, you can order the plans or something. I think I'll take this off. And then we've got that, but I think what I'm going to do is just take it off maybe here, and then cover that part up. So there we go. Let's see what else would work. I love this. I love hurricane lamps. Just line it up and zip. Whereas sometimes the ruler doesn't stay put. So I was thinking recently about habits, and because of James Clear's book Atomic Habits has been kind of a topic of conversation, I guess, online, and you know, of blogs and whatnot. And I was thinking about, I don't think I'm a person of a lot of habits, but once I started thinking about it, I went, actually, yeah, I mean, we all have habits, whether we want to admit it, think about it, or whatever. And so I was thinking about the habits that I have every day. And I thought of 6 things that I do every day. So I thought, well, I'm just going to kind of mull those over, but also just talk about them a little bit. Look at this blue. It's so pretty. I think I will leave that there and cover it up. All right, let's see what we've got here. These pages are so slippery. Don't slide off. I'm going to need you. Okay. Oops. Let's hang on to that. Let's try this. I think I'll just forgo that one, but I like this guy in the hammock. I remember once when I was in high school, I was talking to a friend about a hammock. She said, it's not a hammock, it's a hammock. I'm like, well, maybe in your world, in mine it's a hammock. Anyway, okay, so here we go. Now I've got this page to cover up. Move some of my stuff here. I need my glues. I like this. So I'm going to start with this. And maybe put this in here, and we'll see. And you know what? I have no plan whatsoever. I'm not going to try designing. I'm just going to glue and be happy and see what turns out. Mainly because these are all pictures that I love. So I pulled them out because they're beautiful and because I don't need the whole magazine with, you know, from 2005 with all its advertising, which is quite a lot. So I'm just going to take out the pieces that appeal to me, and this is a way to save them. I think that makes more sense there. So with regard to habits then, I figured out at least 6 that I do every day. One of those is when I get up in the morning, I'll shower or whatever, and I'll always get dressed and put on makeup and fix my hair as though I'm going out. And I started doing that a long time ago, like probably in high school, because I was going out every day to school. But why I keep doing that is because I don't have to get ready. If I decide to go out, I don't have to get ready. I'm already ready. So that's one thing I do. I put on jewelry, I wear earrings, and I have some nice little pieces, you know, things that mean something to me. I'm going to have some odd-shaped spaces here, so I thought what I would do is also add some little bits and pieces from my other things here. I actually moved some of them because this was so full. I got another binder out. Okay, so let's probably deal with this one instead. So that's just one of those things that I do as a habit. Another thing I do is plan my day. So once I've had breakfast, or sometimes before, I'll get my planner out, and I use a happy planner because I found that real businessy looking planners are just kind of boring for me. I have to have things sort of colorful. So, oh, I like that. So if it's colorful, then I'll look at it. If it's not, it's kind of, I don't know, my brain doesn't register it or something. What are all these? So I plan my day, and with the planner, what I do is the plans for the week. It has a space on one side for the whole week, and I put my projects in there, and then each day I will work on whatever. I'm just going to take a bunch of those out because they kind of work with this whole concept. I just need something underneath here, I think, or over top of that. But I think I'll start with this. And I'm going to use my glue stick so that I get all the little bits. So each day with my planner, I'll add the thing for that day and, you know, look at my weekly plan and see what it is that I want to do and what I want to accomplish. And then I will, you know, fit it in however it works and just keep working on it. So if I worked on it, then I'll check it off, but it also goes on again the next day until it doesn't appear anymore. So that's how I use my planner. I should have put this underneath this one. I wonder if I can do that. Not very sticky now. This is the advantage of making a plan. And this is not the way to do it, but it'll work. There. Okay, let's see. Not sure, I don't want that. All right, let's move over to this side just for... Working big is different from working small. And with my fan on, the sun finally came out today. I mean, we've had massive clouds and it was raining this morning. Anyway, that's the second thing I do every day is make a plan for my day and make a plan for my week. And I don't plan a long way ahead in advance because I kind of know what direction I'm going and what my plan is, and I don't really need to go, okay, 3 weeks from Thursday I'm going to be doing this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That doesn't work for me. And because I work by project, not by appointment or anything like that, that works for me anyway. All right, I'm going to put this one up here. It's kind of a peaceful picture. So the third thing I do every day is learn something. And usually it's not like I'm looking like, what am I going to learn today? I'm looking for something new to learn today. It's just that it kind of happens because I watch people's videos, usually to do with business or art or glue books or creating or something, So I watch people's videos and very often learn something. I don't listen to podcasts very much because I don't really like someone talking at me all the time. But I am in a year-long art program, so when I watch those videos, then I learn something there. Hey, look, this just fits. It's perfect. So I don't set out to, like, I don't get up in the morning and say, what am I going to learn today? Or what am I learning and working on today? It's that every day I do learn something, which is good. And I have lots of books, and I often have several at a time that I'm reading. So, just the fact of reading a book, you learn something. Like, for example, I'm reading a book about the adrenal glands and the thyroid because those are issues that I'm dealing with, and learning all kinds of stuff I've read lots and lots of stuff about the topic because I had adrenal fatigue for a long time, finally kind of recovered, but still have stuff that's still hanging on, I guess you could say. I want something that just covers that up. Those are too big. I need something kind of square. Let's see what I've got here. Should be something in these little things. That works. Even the colors work. All right, that one gets used. So there's that one. I learned something. I'm going to put some washi tape along here just to cover up that before I glue this down. The fourth thing I do every day is read. I read something every day. I love to read. I could read all day, every day. With lunch breaks, obviously. However, I always, like I said, have lots of books on the go, and I'm always reading something, usually 2 or 3 at a time. And you think, well, how on earth can you do that? Okay, here's how I do it. I have them beside my bed, and I'll read one for, 20 minutes. Then I'll put it away and get out the next one and read it for 20 minutes. And then I'll put it away and get out the next one. So it's not that hard. And by then I'm ready to fall asleep anyway, so there you go. And I in 2021, I decided to keep track of how many books I read. And I actually have a book journal, like a tracking journal on Amazon, if you're interested, where you can keep track of all the books you read and just, discover exactly how much of that you do. This one looks like it will fit nicely here. And I read 60 books in 2021. And you could say, oh, well, it was pandemic, everybody's doing nothing. But, when you're self-employed and you're doing most things online, the pandemic didn't really have a huge effect on my work schedule at all. In fact, my husband was still working full-time because he was in what they called a necessary industry, or whatever the term was. And pretty much 100% of those books I read at night in bed. So it just kind of shows you what you can do. Okay, I have to find something to go along the bottom here. I must have something in here that will fit that little spot, like that, for example. It's not quite long enough, but that doesn't matter. So anyway, reading 60 books in a year gave me an idea of how many books I actually do read. And that's not unusual, that I'll read that many books in a year. And I know there are people who read a lot more, who have more time to read, or who read faster. I'm not a particularly fast reader. And especially when I'm reading at night, I'm getting sleepy. Okay, there's that. All right, I think this page might be done, but if I think of something to put on it, I might just do that. Like, it says Long Beach, which it isn't, but that's okay. Anyway, okay, so that was 4 things, I think. Yeah. Another thing I do every day is pray. And I don't do that like sit down for half an hour and pray through a list. I don't do that. I just talk to God all day. It's like something comes to mind, you know. It's just kind of an ongoing conversation. Or if I have a question, and you know what? I don't make a big deal out of it. It's a relationship after all. I need something sort of long that goes in here. Let me see. So as far as praying, I mean, technically it's called praying, but mainly it's just an ongoing conversation. I think I'll do that one and just take some of this top off with the cutter because it does a straight job. And then I'll get into those. Okay, so question is how much to cut off. Don't want any of that white to show. So I talked to the Lord about things like, what will I make for supper? Which, by the way, I haven't figured out yet. And what will I wear today? And he answers, which might surprise you if you've never talked to God and never had him answer. But he's an ever-present help in time of trouble. The verse in Psalms says. So I think, okay, if I'm having trouble figuring out what to wear to something, what will I wear to church today when it's pouring rain and cold in the church too? And I have to dress up a little bit, not just wear jeans. Then it's like, okay, Lord, what will I wear? And he'll say, wear that, that, and that, you know. It saves so much time, you can't imagine. There, that little sweetie looks good there. Now, I want to do a couple of little things. So, adventures are the best ways to learn. Well, you sure do learn when you're having adventures. You know, sometimes an adventure is something that you didn't really plan to happen. It just turns into an adventure. So that can go right there. Okay, and the 6th thing I do every day is paint. And the reason I do that is because last fall when I decided I'm going to paint, I'm going to figure out acrylic paints because I've been a watercolorist for decades. But acrylics are just totally different. Now let me see, do I want any more visual activity on here? I've got that, I've got that. I might not want to clutter it up too much just because I don't need to. My regards to your mother. We are both fat and busy. Respectfully. Okay. These things are so fun. Oh, this one's chocolate. It's too big for that little space. That one's nice, but I'd like a different color. I've dumped a bunch of other things in here, so now I can't find things quite so easily. Here's a blue one. Yeah, I think I'll use that just because the color works. See what I mean about these things sliding? Don't slide. So I decided last fall I'm going to paint every day, because you can't learn something new if you never try it and you never work at it. So I bought a bunch of cheap canvases and I bought some paints, and I just started painting and, you know, looking at other artists' work to figure out what I want to paint, because watercolor and acrylics are so different. It's like I don't have to start over with my ability to paint, but I do have to start over with my technique, with learning the paint. I'm going to put a piece of tape up here because I can and because I have some pretty stuff. And I'm going to just use this blue one because it's a very, very small area. And this is one of those double side things. There, I'll deal with that one after. Anyway, by painting every day, I have learned how to figure out the paint, which is great. I decided to put one along here too so that that raw edge doesn't show. I think I'll use the pink one because it's plain. I have tons of washi tape that doesn't even begin to account for how much I have. So by painting every day, I learned how to paint with this kind of paint. And it's been frustrating, and it's been a learning experience, and it's been amazing and fun, and I've figured out more or less what kind of subjects I like to paint that I want to do more of, things like that. Now I want something in here just because it's kind of bare looking, and I think it wants a sticker. So I'm going to dig one out here. Let's try these little guys, these little buildings. That one's pretty cute. Here's one that says blossom. I like that. See how easy this is? It's just like, if you like it, stick it down. You don't have to make big decisions. It's easy peasy. And that's what makes it fun sometimes. It's like, sometimes you don't want to tax your brain. You don't want to have to figure things out and work on them. So this morning I was painting and I was trying to figure something out and working on it. And it's like, okay, this is more like work, which of course, you know, as an artist, it is work, but this is more like play. There, look at that. This is like a giant scrapbook, just like an old-fashioned scrapbook. So call it a glue book if you want, or a scrapbook, or just a fun book. And there it is. Please subscribe to my channel because I would love to have you join me. Please click the little bell because then you get the notifications. And also the like button, that tells the algorithm that you like what I do and other people might too. That's always nice. And leave a comment because I love to hear from you and I answer every one. And I'll see you next time.